There we go. As Singapore makes cryptocurrency investing more attractive for their citizens, unfortunately, over here in America, the taxmen are licking their lips. It looks like we're going to have a whole lot more taxation going on here in the States, and I'm going to show you what their plan of attack is going to be. Meanwhile, can adopting cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin, help the UK with a period of global economic uncertainty coming off the Brexit deal? I think so, and I'm going to walk you through it in today's episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Welcome to Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live July 9th, 2019, your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders. My name is Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at crackingcryptocurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from, and whether you're watching us from across YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook Live, or on Roku at the Investor News channel. Shout out to all of you, and if you want to support the stream, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, and engage in the live chat. All right, guys. Today's episode of Breaking Bitcoin is brought to you by us. If you are tired of Telegram groups leaving you holding the bag and you want to trade with a team that provides their education in a no-nonsense, transparent manner, then head over to premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Let us walk you through the Pathways to Profit course and teach you how to build a verifiable technical strategy from the ground up. Learn how we manage our risk, learn how we manage our money, and learn how we control our emotions and benefit from our supportive community of traders and investors. To get started today, visit premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. All right, guys, before we begin, a few premium trading group updates. So I mentioned this yesterday in the announcements in the premium channel, but I just want to talk about it a little bit more on stream and talk about what I'm working on. I'm working on a so, as you guys always know, my main passion in life, what I'm always grinding on, is my own back testing and strategy testing. I am always optimizing parameters. I am always looking to make my system better to provide the best possible trade setups that it possibly can, because that is what I rely on for my income. My success in the markets is how I pay my bills. So, I've been, as I said, with Forex, I was back testing strats very specifically for Forex for the last 8 months. I'm still back testing them now. I am actively trading Forex with a live capital account. It is a small capital account. When I've concluded the small capital test, it will be 30 days. Then I will move to a medium-sized account. And then from there, I will move to a regular capitalized account. My net asset value on the exchange is up 5% since beginning my trading. So pretty good month so far, and I continue to do that every day. It does require an additional 30 minutes of trading for me a day. It requires 30 minutes a day to trade the Forex markets for me. As you guys know, I trade a very particular time of day, and I trade a certain edge setup. A little different in Forex. The method is absolutely the same. It is still PTP strategy, but there are a few nuances in Forex, some different indicators that we need to add to give more optimum results. And obviously, our position sizing is a little bit different because your position sizing is not always going to be based off of your base currency. So, for example, if you're trading a currency to yen pair, you're going to get a very different position size if you are trading in terms of quantity. And again, this depends on your broker. So when we officially introduce FX trading at the end of Q3 2019 or the beginning of Q4 2019, we're going to walk through how to calculate your lot size. Every Forex trader should know by a click of a finger how to calculate your lot size. And on my broker, Wannabe, you actually don't calculate lot sizes, you just calculate quantity, which is a little different. I like it. I like it, but it is different. I like it, but it is different. So a lot of people, I was used to calculating lots, having it traded on Forex.com. So anyways, moving forward, guys, I've been, we've got some really good results from the latest data set for testing the indicators against live data. Obviously an 80-20 split, looking at all the current data and testing against something that we've never seen. That's how we optimize. And I'm actually really happy about some of the ideas. And a lot of it's come from the group. A lot of you guys have had fantastic ideas about, well, hey, what if our indicators did this? Or what if this setup did this? Or what if we could incorporate this? Or what if we could automate this? All stuff that I've wanted to do, but it is through having our community that we're able to work together and improve the tools that we use, improve the systems that we do. For example, something that's going to be coming out very soon is I've been working with one of the members in our group. Shout out to you, good sir. Jonathan. He is a very brilliant individual, and he has helped me make our advanced trading journal much, much better. He has put in a lot of work. We've worked on this together, but again, I want to give a big, big shout out to him for a lot of the calculations that he's done on that, and it really, really, really helps you understand where your dollars and cents are going, and automates a lot of stuff. It's just a beautiful thing that he's helped create. So shout out to you, man. That was fantastic work. And again, I think one of the best benefits of our community is the work that everybody gets to put in together, and how they can benefit from everybody else who is trying to crush it in the same fashion as they are. So, okay, guys, let's talk about giving some crypto away, guys. Shout out to our current Discord Nitro boosters. If you want to help us out and you have Discord Nitro, you can opt at discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com and boost our server. We highly appreciate that. Makes the entire community better for everybody. And yesterday's crypto comment giveaway winner was Drake Avila. So shout out to you, good sir. You got a hold of me in the Discord. He asked a fantastic question yesterday about Kelly Criterion position sizing and bet calculators. We have Kelly bet calculators in the trading group. I've created the bet calculators. So we have multiple position sizing strategies, and that is one. Of course, there's two applications of Kelly Bet. One is going to be looking at your win-loss ratio, and one is going to be looking at your actual P&L. So they're a little bit different, but both are very valid because they're actually looking at your historical results of trading based against your recent results and telling you what your average bet should be. And if you guys want more information on Kelly Criterion, I highly recommend you type that into Google and do some research. And again, most of the guys in the group have already nerded out on that because we're all about money management. Okay. So let's slide on over to the live scene here and flip some tunes on, some low chill beats, as the kids say these days. And we will choose a video. Let me go grab the URL from yesterday's video. How you guys doing in the chat, man? Let me know. Who is the artist I played during the stream yesterday? That was going to be a mix from Philip Carr of Manchester Mint. If you go to yesterday's YouTube description page or Twitch or wherever it happens to be posted, the link to Philip's SoundCloud is right there. Okay. Okay, cool. So I've got the URL from yesterday's video. Let's pop that in here. And let's head right on over to the live scene. Sorry, guys. Still working on getting everything just 100% gorgeous. Okay, so here we are on the live scene, and let's pick a comment crypto giveaway winner. We've got 17 potential winners. Best of luck to all of you. And GPU Wally, man, what's going on? My good man, one of the best, one of the few, the proud, the few, the brave, the botters. GPU Wally, thank you so much for your continued support, my good friend, and you are the winner of some crypto. So you know the drill. Get a hold of me in the Discord, and I will tip you some crypto, man. And he says, your FBNB correlation theory makes me very glad for a small BNB stack. And of course, we always have to have a BNB stack, especially to be trading on Binance, because fees are no joke. But again, I say this a lot. You should always be looking to take practical steps to optimize how much you're paying in fees. But if fees are causing you to be unprofitable, it's not the fees. It's your trading strategy. It's your overtrading. So, but bet, man. All right. Let's go over here into the live scene with Bitcoin. Okay. Just have to move everything down, I think is the way that it works. Trying to understand this live split. Gabe Anderson says, Electronium. Jose Caneta, are we long in Bitcoin or what? It's a good question. And that's going to depend on your own personal analysis. For me, no. Actually, no. I'm not going to long Bitcoin. I'm still 1x short. I do not really like the way this looks. So let's look at what we can do. Okay? Now, something that's interesting to me, coming here on the daily is price coming down. We've talked about a whole lot, so we're going to keep it very simple today. We've got a lot to cover today. Bitcoin moving up precipitously, and again, everybody doing the exact same thing that they always do, generally buying at the wrong time and FOMOing into a position because they think that Bitcoin is just going to completely tear off and they're going to absolutely miss their chance. They think that if they don't buy here, then this is going to happen. I think that is less likely. I think that we overall are in a bullish structure, but as I said, coming off of this candle, I expect to see about a month of consolidation, right? Now, this is a little bit more volatile consolidation. I will definitely say that. We are above the daily baseline. Minx is above the zero line. RVGI is crossing to the upside. CCI never went below zero, which we've had CCI on the stream for several days now just to look at correlations between one indicator that works very well and one indicator that works pretty darn good as far as an initiator. So CCI would have actually, never told you to go into a short position if we're looking at CCI. CCI tells you to re-go long here on this candle. One candle after Minx tells you to go, and on the same candle, the Wannabe explosion gives you a long signal. If we look at what Wannabe explosion is doing, we are printing a green column above the explosion line now. We actually did yesterday as well. We have a falling explosion level, so the long trade was valid on yesterday's candle close, and there was a profitable position to take. One thing that we need to realize, though, is with ATR being the way that it is right now, we're going to have to use our custom value. Now, I talked about this in the VIP Ask Me Anything the other day. So as far as this is going to be another parameter optimization or another feature that I'm going to be including in the next push of Quadriga ATR. So something that we can actually do is use our custom ATR values so that we can filter out our outliers. So if we open up the data window here and go down to Quadriga ATR, if you guys can see that on the right, we can see that our ATR value is about 544. We get up to here and it jumps up 150 bucks. And when we go over here, it jumps up another 150. So our ATR value is a significant outlier. Our ATR right now is coming in around 933. That is ridiculous. We do not want to be using that ATR value. So what we need to do is we need to filter out our outliers. And we're going to use our custom ATR values. And we're not going to be plotting for shorts. We're going to go grab our ATR value over here. That's going to be 544 and plug that in. And you see that changes things a little bit. So let's look at what would have happened yesterday had you taken that long. You would have hit take profit 1 and you would have gotten stopped out at break even. So you would have taken your initial position off at take profit 1. You would have hit that, and you would now be out of the trade. Okay, you would now be out of the trade. So I am still in my 1x short position. I've put on a couple other positions that I've told the guys in the group exactly what I did last night. I'm comfortable with those. I like the way the price is going. I am going to remain in that position until further notice. I think that we're going to get I think we're going to pull back. I think what is more likely right now than not is I think we're going to get a pullback down to the daily baseline, potentially further, and I think we're going to continue to see this consolidation and chop. I do want to see a volume spike because, and I guess I'll just point this out if I can just start off with my psychology about this. I don't care that Bitcoin moved up 10%. I don't care. I've made a whole lot of money during this bull run, and all I'm concerned about is preserving that capital and not losing it. If price goes on a true reestablishment of the bullish trend, I'll enter into the position and I'll take price up as far as it wants to go. Because if we keep pushing and pushing and pushing, I think that it's likely that we see 15,000, 17,000 and most likely all-time highs. Could happen sooner than we possibly think. But overall, this sideways pattern, and again, I don't think that this is expansion as much as it is chop and pop, right? Everybody thinks that there was a big buildup for this or that it was a breakout of a pattern. And as I've gone over many times, there's really not a statistical edge in trading patterns. Sometimes they're right and most times they're wrong. So when they're right, when patterns play out correctly, everybody looks at that as if it's indicative of something. It's really not. It just happened. So this is a good example of chop, of price moving down, price moving up, and then popping to the upside. Wasn't really a good breakout. As you can see, once we actually did break our highs here, there wasn't a really explosive move into the upside. In fact, we just got sold into them. We're currently having a daily spinning top doji. So these factors make me want to be cautious. I maintain my 1x short position. I'm holding on to my cash value. I even added an additional position as I talked about, and I'm pretty comfortable with that. So we're going to see what price does. Again, I think that a long will be valid to take on the close of today's candle, if that is what you want to do. It's not what I'm going to do, but there could be a position there to take. I'm going to continue to preserve my cash value until I get a much more clear signal. And really what bothers me right now, the reason why I'm more hesitant than not is this volume. I don't like this volume. I do not like this volume. I want to see some indication of volume. Now, if we look at RVGI is definitely one thing. If you were in a reversal short position, for example, so if you had shorted the top, I already took my profit off that trade. But if you had tried to short the top, or you shorted like anywhere around here, for example, and whether you're in profit or not, RVGI is telling you to exit that trade. It actually told you to exit yesterday. So if you would have exited yesterday near yesterday's candle close, you would have been getting around 12,296. And I'm assuming that you most likely took some profits on that short trade during the period in time. Just keep in mind that this is a nuance that most people don't understand about inverse futures contracts. When you take a short position on Bitcoin, you need to go higher than your position size. You need to go higher than your account balance because you are already long 1x. So just going short actually puts you flat. So if you've ever wondered this, for example, when you go short, let's say you go short on Bit. So let's give you an example. Let's say you have $5,000 in BitMEX, okay? You have $5,000 USD value, whatever that is in Bitcoin at whatever time. And let's say you go to your position size calculator. Okay, you go to your position size calculator and you put on a short for $2,500 and price moves to the downside. You are going to notice a huge difference in the USD value of what you have when everything's done. And this all becomes very clear if you use the Tamper Monkey plugin to actually convert the Bitcoin values on BitMEX to USD values. Again, I've talked about this a lot. Having sats up there, having all your wealth on BitMEX measured in Bitcoin, is misleading. It's very misleading. There are a lot of things about BitMEX that are misleading. For example, ROE is extremely misleading. It makes you think that you're making more money than you actually are. And people use this to their advantage to post BS on Twitter. But when you actually look at your P&L and your account balance in dollar terms, then that's more indicative. So my entire point here is, when you go short, like for example, so let's say this is a good example. If you have $5,000 and you go short at any price, you go short 5,000 contracts, you will not make any money. Okay? You are going flat. You are selling into cash. It doesn't matter if price moves up and you start losing Bitcoins, your USD value is locked in. The only thing that you're going to lose is going to be the funding rate every 8 hours on BitMEX if you're on the perpetual swap contract. Of course, if you do this on U19, doesn't matter. You won't lose anything. You'll just be absolutely hedging your position. Now, why is that? Because you're already 1x long in the first place. So going 1x short puts you flat. It puts you flat in the market. Now, if you want to take a short risk position, you need to add to that. So if you're already 1x short preserving your capital, which by the way, most of the times you should be, unless Bitcoin is extremely bullish or you have a good reason to be long or be sitting in Bitcoin in the first place. Remember, sitting in Bitcoin is the same as being in a Bitcoin trade. So if we're sitting in Bitcoin, we are in an active trade because we measure our wealth in dollars. So anytime we're not sitting in dollars and we're in an asset, that is a trade, right? And there needs to be a good reason to be into a trade, right? So you have to, so long story short, if you want to make money on that full risk short, you got to short 5,000 contracts and then add your risk and then add your position size on top of that. Now you're actually taking a risk trade to the downside because to just go short the number of contracts that you owned or the USD value that you had, you're just now going flat. Okay. There's a lot of nuance to that. A lot of stuff that we've talked about in the group, a lot of stuff that we've covered in the group, and a lot of stuff that we'll cover more in the future when it comes to the specific nuance and nature of inverse futures contracts. But, so what is a reason you would take a 1x short on a perpetual swap future? Well, funding, for example. So let's say that you thought that price was going to move to the upside. You would get the benefit of the funding rate. And for example, on Bybit, there is no non-perpetual contract at this point in time. And I do most of my trading on Bybit, not BitMEX, for very specific reasons. Cryptonomics. Satoshis are not misleading if you know WTF you're doing in terms of conversions and pricing of the traded assets. Right, which I would argue 90 to 95% of individuals do not. So I make this argument and I make that case and I stand on that for what is going to benefit the biggest number of people, the widest preponderance of individuals. Because most individuals are losing money hand over fist when they trade. Most traders lose money because they do not understand money management. So you are correct, but I don't think that's going to be very helpful to most traders watching the show. And if the goal is to earn Sats versus USD, that again does not apply to the wider preponderance of traders. Most traders are here to maximize their USD value. I understand what you're saying. That's not exactly what you're saying. You're saying if Sats are appreciating, then we're trying to earn Sats to have more wealth in Bitcoin measured against the dollar. I totally get that, right? But again, that makes sense to me, and that makes sense to good traders. Most people are not. Are there liquidity issues on Bybit? I do not believe so. I have again, not a humble brag. I have a larger account than most individuals. Okay, and I have never had a problem getting filled on Bybit. I have never had an overload issue on Bybit. I have literally had, this is how many problems I've ever had on Bybit. None, not one. There's never been one time when I have ever had anything go wrong for me on Bybit. And everybody that is in the group or that I've referred to Bybit or that trades on Bybit that I don't even really know, we've talked about Bybit. Any issues that they've mentioned, they said they contacted customer service and customer service took care of them. I've never heard that about Bittrex. I mean, this stuff really matters to me, man. Like coming from traditional finance and coming from Forex, customer service matters to me. Like you should not be in it alone. The fact that you log on to Bittrex and you are now in the casino and there is nobody from staff to help you out or guide you whatsoever, and you have to, I have read every single blog, every single article on the Bittrex wiki, every single little piece of paper. I've done the math myself to understand the correlations between their contracts, to understand the funding rates, to understand how the mark price is calculated, to understand how the index price is calculated, to understand how, for example, how settlement of contracts is taken, how they do the TEMA, how they do the triple exponential moving average. Settlement over a 30-minute period toward the end of expiration or toward the expiration date or on the expiration date, excuse me, to be more specific. And you shouldn't have to do that like you should. I recommend that people do that. I think you'll have more success if you understand the math and the nuance behind everything that you're doing. But you shouldn't have to, right? Because we're talking about a retail trading platform. I mean, almost none of you guys are quants or professional traders. So, and you shouldn't have to be, right? What we do, what we teach in the group, and what we do the show for is to show retail traders how to trade in a method that takes 30 minutes to an hour a day. That's how I trade. I trade for 30 minutes to an hour a day. I'm a consistently profitable trader, and I have zero anxiety when I put on a trade. I put on my trades, I walk away from the computer, I check them the next day. That's it. And again, we've got a lot of guys in the group. We've got analysts and guys in the group. They day trade. They're watching the charts all the time. That's their thing. I did that for close to 7 years, and now I like my way of trading. And I'm a consistently profitable trader, and I do just as well as I did back then. And the nice thing is I get to spend time with my family, my friends. I get to work on my content creation. I get to write new strategies. I get to write new lessons. I get to write new coursework for the group. And I get to actually work with them and do mentoring, answer questions, and actually provide value as a human being. It's not something that you can really do if you're watching the charts 24/7. Justin, I can be a very good weapons engineer. Is Bittrex a good exchange? I do think that Bittrex is a good exchange. I do think that Bittrex is a good exchange. I think that it's a quite good exchange. Okay. Let's go down through some lower time frames. Let's get back to some technical analysis and just wheedle some things out. Going back down to the 12-hour, let's take a look here. Unconfirmed long signal here. When did we actually get a signal where we could have gone long? We did get a continuation long signal here. Could have taken this trade. And let's see here. The 12 did set us up here. All right, if you're using WADA, no, I guess not really. WADA TAR here on the 12-hour would have pushed you up, okay? So what do we do? We grab liquidity. Now I would be, it would make a lot more sense to me. I guess I would feel more comfortable, but it has nothing to really do with how I feel. We talked about these liquidity. We talked about these liquidity zones yesterday. We talked about these local highs, both above this high and above this high. And as you can see, price went to the upside, cleared down. Now, from a breakout standpoint, now that we've already grabbed that liquidity, closing above that level, just from a traditional price action point of view, would be, what's what I'm looking for, would be a breakout. All right, so we've got this 12-hour order block right here, for example, right? And as we've discussed with order blocks before, when you break above an order block, if you generally you want to close above an order block, and then you're buying any pullbacks into that order block, right? Because that becomes your support area, because this is where selling initiation began. Like this was as high as buyers could push price before sellers began dominating the market and pushed price down 22%. Right, and then again, this is how high buyers were able to push price before sellers took control of the market. And then very similar, I prefer these order blocks. I like order blocks that are cleaner. But when we break above that zone, generally you want to, the way that I trade them is you always need to close above an order block. You need to close above an order block, and then it becomes a breaker because it's broken, right? So then any pullbacks into that breaker, it's a bullish breaker, and you buy. You can take price to the upside. I've gone over this in my lectures. Very similar for bearish order blocks and bearish breakers. So that would be an example of a bullish breaker. So if that is the breakout trade that you're looking to take, that is what I would be looking for. If we look at Quadriga ATR and we get some ideas for targets, let's go determine our average true range value. Coming in at around 718 right now. So we're on a 15 candle look back. So I think that's probably going to be fairly accurate. But that is less than what we were doing on the daily. So because of that, and because we're on a lower time frame, we are going to use that custom ATR value of 544. So we'd be looking at targets of 1370, 13614, and 14158 right out of the gate, and looking to manage risk pretty much directly below the daily baseline, coming around 11695. That's what you'd be looking for the breakout trade. Of course, if you wanted to do that same breakout parameters, and you're looking to buy dips back into that zone, let's see, where are we coming in here? 12364 and 1259. Then you would most likely just be setting your stop loss underneath the block. So targeting this area and having a stop loss somewhere like this. Now, again, you're not going to be using a hard stop loss. In this example, you'd be wanting to using a soft stop loss and waiting for the close below your level, because you don't want to get wicked out. Like, for example, if price wicks back into your buy zone and then price wicks all the way down and then just comes right back up, you don't want to get stopped out of your trade. Okay, so that's the breakout setup that I see. And going over to the 4-hour chart. Let's see, the 4-hour chart did get you into a long position here on the 4-hour. You can see the trade right here. Mink signals along. WADA confirms. CCI tells you to go. RVGI does not matter. You have I'd say about 3 candles of drawdown. So 12 hours of drawdown, and then price just runs to the upside, hits all your take profits, I'm assuming. I know actually quite a few guys in the group who took this trade. So we'll use current ATR values. Yeah. Yep, so price would have ran up, made 10% on that trade. You basically would have sold the top. Yeah. There's your third take profit right there. And then price comes down. And you don't really have a good reason to be out of this. Actually, you do. RVGI tells you to get out right here. So RVGI has you out of the trade right here. That's a pretty good trade. And now you just wait for your next setup. Okay. Let's move over to Ethereum, guys. Actually, let's go look at Ethereum on Coinbase. Go into the daily. Going to the daily, unconfirmed long signal on the daily from the system yesterday. We can see that WADA is not confirming. And again, I mean, really, going back to that Bitcoin example, that's what I've been saying for about 3 days now. I don't like the way that WADA looks. WADA is what keeps me from making bad trades. And I'm quite comfortable to sit in my 1x short for as long as I humanly need to, because my cash is preserved. And at the current moment in time, I'm making funding. So Roy Coin, is there some alternative for price targets apart from average true range? Yeah, man. I mean, there are as many stop and target systems out there as there are grains of sand on the beach, man. I quite like ATR because it's based off average volatility. There are other things that you can do as well. There are other indicators of volatility. But and there are different calculations for average true range too. For just go Google average true range. There's quite a few. So I use a for Quadriga. I actually use a I don't use the TradingView default for average true range. I wrote my own average true range function, and then I wrote my own smoothing filter simultaneously. So I use a different ATR, and then of course I have added values in there as well. But again, standard ATR is going to serve you amazingly well. I used standard ATR for years. I used it in Forex. I used it in cryptocurrency when I began trading cryptocurrency until I came up with Quadriga. So ATR is fantastic, man. A lot of people are going to use things like exponential moving averages. Like, so for example, like this is another way that I used to trade. Again, I don't want to misrepresent anybody, but there's another pretty popular YouTuber, Crown, and he uses multiple moving averages. And this is a pretty common way to take profit as well, looking at where you're moving. So let's go to the 4 hour. All right, so let's say you buy at your 55, you'd be looking to take profit at like your 21, your 13, and your 9, for example, right? Or your 8, excuse me. A lot of ways to do it, man. Bollinger Bands, obviously, then you're going to get into the more subjective price action analysis, such as Fibonacci extensions, support and resistance lines, trend lines, things of that nature, tops of patterns, bottoms of patterns, things of that nature, yeah. All kinds. And I've tried them all, man, and I like ATR. But as with all things, test it out for yourself and figure out what works best for you and your system. Because I'm not going to be using your indicators, I'm not going to be using your initiators, nor your confirmers. I'm not going to be looking at volume the same way or with the same indicators, and I might not be using the same baseline. So all stuff that everybody just needs to test themselves. Whoa, we got the 21 baseline on there. Let's go to the 13. Thank you so much, Just a Person. Highly appreciate it, man. Looking forward to trading with you, brother. Buy Bitcoin now or cry later. Theonia says, I would rather buy at 8,000 than 12,000. As we all would, especially if it then goes up, you know. That's the key. So it's then got to go up from 8,000. You know what I mean? It's a tricky thing. So looking at Ethereum, unconfirmed long signal, period of consolidation. Now, I'm going to watch Ethereum a little bit more closely. I think that as we've kind of seen, Ethereum makes a movement and then Bitcoin makes a movement. And then Ethereum makes a movement and then Bitcoin makes a movement. So one large thing in my mind is feeling like, again, not feeling like I've missed the movement with Bitcoin. It's just not the right setup for me. It wasn't my trade. And that's okay. That's okay. I've had lots of, these were my trades. So now I just need to wait and be patient and wait for something that is my trade. And again, you know, one of the nice things about, I guess for the traders in the group is, you know, they've got Da Vinci, they've got Alex. We're going to be adding another analyst soon, and they're trading price action. They're much more active day traders. You know, Da Vinci caught that movement up on Ethereum, so shout out to you, my good friend. Make sure you go follow Da Vinci over on Twitter. Fantastic stuff over there, man. One of our analysts. So let's see here. I feel like I had notes to talk about. Coming back to the 12-hour. 12-hour would have gotten you into a long trade over here on the 12. We've got nice volume. We've got Wadatar confirming. Let's go take a look at Quadriga and see how targets would have went for that. Are we using current ATR valuations? Yes. Are we going to... Okay, cool. Yeah, and the 12-hour didn't give us a really profitable trade there either. You know, just missed the movement. And again, I mean, look at that. You know, price... A lot of people think that this was a breakout. Nah, man. Price chopped, and then it popped. Right? Pretty common parlance. Let's go to the 4-hour. 4-hour got you into the trade. Oh, we've got the long signal coming in here from Minx, and WADA does confirm. CCI also confirms. CCI actually gets you in the long trade on the previous candle, and WADA does actually confirm that. So that is a good setup. This is a good example where CCI does actually set you up a great trade with your confirmer, but you get the long signal here and you grab all of that. You grab all of that. 1, 2, and 3, all three take profits there on the 4 hour. 4 hour doing well. 4 hour will get you into great positions in overall periods of consolidation like this. Doesn't fit into my lifestyle, but again, I've given all the guys the tools that they need to utilize this. So again, a lot of them are sticking to the daily, and there's good reasons for that, especially with their time schedule. You know, we've got people who are have full-time jobs. We've got people who have families, and they're just not going to be able to trade the 4 hour chart. They don't need that anxiety, that stress. You know, it's going to be best for you to master the daily, master your workflow of trading for 30 minutes a day. Because the way that we trade is we're all business for 30 minutes a day, right? We've got the tool, we've got our position size calculator that we use, we've got our trading journal that we use, we've got our exchange platform, we've got our execution engine, and we scan through our charts. We identify, we input data, we calculate position sizes, we execute, we're done. But for 30 minutes, it's boom, 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 right? Full concentration. And then that's it. You just need to put in the work. You need to put in the work every single day and be consistent and disciplined every single day, and the results follow. If you're like, well, I'll just trade on Wednesdays and I'll trade on Friday, you're not going to get the results that you want. You have to trade every single day for 30 minutes a day. Headshot, thank you so much for joining over there on Twitch, my good friend. Chop, pop, and drop it. Crypto bubbles by popular request. EGT, Walton Chain continues to soar. Ren up, Siacoin up, and that's about it. You know, got some a couple other little babies. But Christmas tree day in the market, which is good. Christmas tree day in the market, which is pretty good. That's actually healthy for the market with Bitcoin moving to the upside. Typically, you're going to get total death and destruction. Jake RESIO, hello, crypto crystal ball. Could you look at Rep USD with your indicators? Would your system have caught this jump in price? Let's put you on the request list, my good man, if you can hang around. Rep USD, Jake RESIO. All right, it's 12:45, and we've still got a whole lot to cover over, guys. So let's go down to the 4 hour. I do not see a trade. Okay, on the 4 hour, we are in that baseline bounce situation position. Momentum has died off. So whenever you're taking a trade with a setup like this, where you don't have a violent pullback to a level of support, I always like to see violent movement down to support, and then that makes me feel a whole lot more confident about picking up the trade there. Because what often follows a lot of selling to the downside is a brief movement back up. So there is a profit opportunity there. When we list lazily down on lowering volume, I don't really like to see that. So I would put the confidence in this 4 hour trade to the upside, this reversal trade on Ethereum, at about 35% confidence. Targets would be 317, 324, and 331 with a stop at 328 cents. All right, so trade safely, guys. And that's about all I see. I don't see anything on the daily, and I don't see anything on the 12 hour. Don't see anything on the 12 hour. All right, so we're going to get into our traditional markets. Actually, we're going to take a look at Litecoin and Ripple real quick. Again, as I said, still bearish on all our major, for the most part, alts to BTC pairs. They look bad, man. When price is moving down, you should be bearish. We're not dip buyers here. We trade the trend, man. We had a continuation short signal on LTC BTC. Actually, sorry, this is the 12 hour chart. We just had a continuation short signal on LTC BTC yesterday, setting us up for, again, another short on Litecoin, Bitcoin to the downside. Taking that on the LTC U19 contract if you were so interested. And again, you are up 6% on the day by just realizing that when price is low, everybody just looks at prices like these. And again, I never ever mean what I say to point out that traders are silly or anybody that doesn't trade my way sucks. It's not how I feel. But as a trend following trader, when you see price moving down, you're like, I want to short that. And when you see price moving up, you think, I'd like to buy that. But then the conditions have to be right. You have to have your filters on to prevent you from doing something stupid, right? From buying into a bad position. But and this is just because of the education in the space, everybody wants to be a reversal trader. They see price going down, they're like, it's oversold. Let me snag up that bag. And then price just drops another $10, all right? Another 10%. All right. We're going to look at Ripple. Strap yourselves in, boys. We're going to the moon. All right, so Litecoin, Bitcoin, I do not see a setup. In fact, the trade was to the downside yesterday. We have rising momentum and good volume on the daily. In fact, I bet that the day will close with higher volume on this movement to the downside. So congratulations to everybody who took that trade. Looking at LTC USD. Again, nothing but chop, man. Price pulling up to the daily baseline, briefly closing above it and rejecting, right? And again, WADA would have kept you out of taking any trade like that, as did Minx, right? Continuation short signal that did not actually play out, but you can hold. You could have held the position open. We did close above the baseline, but of course you would not have. And price pulling back down now to your break even. So there's no trade on here. There's just nothing but pop and chop. And as I said, coming off of a violent movement to the downside and consolidation generally breaks more to the downside. Going to XRP, BTC. XRP breaking back down below. Excuse me. I talked about this this level of consolidation, and I talked about looking at these areas of liquidity grabs. So we're going to see really quickly, right? We're going to see really quickly. I have not yet established a position on XRP. It is the one of few. It is the one of few discretionary reversal trades I am considering taking. I have not taken it yet. I've not pulled the trigger. I want to see some specific things happen. But we're going to get real clear indication here pretty soon if this is going to be a good opportunity to buy something low, because Ripple is one of the most undervalued. So let me step back from saying that. So Ripple has been one of the worst performing cryptocurrencies of 2019. And again, most people would say that that is a good reason to buy. But in my experience, you typically want to be long the strongest asset in a sector and short the weakest asset in a sector. So for that reason, again, continual shorts on XRP U19 have been in good order. But I am interested in looking for a trade. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right. But it does interest me. It does. A Ripple position does interest me. Looking at XRP USD. Again, pull back up to the daily baseline and rejection. So not interested in trading the dollar valuation of it. Okay, going to our traditional markets. Let's look at our S&P CFD, and then we'll go to our E-minis, get into commodities, and then we'll go to Forex. So our S&P CFD. S&P CFD, a beautiful bounce right off of the daily baseline. Any snags would have just done absolutely beautiful for you here. Already up 0.5% on the daily. CCI remaining above zero. WADA ATAR, again, giving you that pullback. So again, whenever you get that lazy list down to the baseline, I don't like it. This was a pretty violent stab down to the baseline. We don't have a bullish initiation yet of a position, but I remain bullish on traditional markets, guys. Remain bullish on traditional markets. And for that reason, I expect that we'll also have baseline reversal bounces on our E-mini futures as well. So here we come to the NQ. Again, baseline reversal bounce, price appreciating already up for almost 0.5% on the day. So again, doing well. Let's see here. We are going to be a little bit of ways away from a reversal bounce. Something that I will actually... Let's talk about reversal trade, or excuse me, let's talk about continuation trades with CCI. So put a moving average on CCI, right? So we know what our initiation is going to be. CCI crossing above zero, going below zero. Try adding a moving average to CCI. All right. And that moving average, when CCI crosses back above it, that's going to be a continuation trade if you're above the zero line. There you go. Well, actually, I'll probably program that up, but we're going to be a few days away from getting that same continuation trade on Minx. But again, reversal baseline bounce doing good on the NQ. If I had to look at targets right now, I would again be looking to take profit here very soon at 78, 74, 28 on the NQ. Going over to the S&P, again, reversal baseline bounce. I'd be looking to take profits at 29.85. Getting down into our Dow. Now, the Dow hasn't had as impressive of a reversal, so it has been the weaker, slower, sluggish moving symbol. So... but same deviation, reversal bounce. Now, you don't have to be spread long across all assets. You can hedge against, but I don't like hedging. If I'm going to take an NQ, SP, and Dow trade, I pretty much like to look at them simultaneously. They typically tend to move, or at least have been highly correlated lately. The Russell 1000 is what I hedge against. So we can see the Russell 1000 is actually the worst performers of them because it's measuring something different. Looking at VIX, VIX sitting at 14.11, so I do like the fact that volatility is rising back up again. And of course, going to GLD for our commods. GLD is now in a no trade zone for me, consolidating at the baseline and volume just dying off. So we'll reestablish a position on our commods and we actually get clear movement one way or the other. All right, going to our commodities. Looking at gold, starting off with precious metals. Again, gold is now in a no trade zone for me. We are closing below the baseline. We closed below the baseline. We're now throwing up a short signal on Minx, and WADA has turned bearish. CCI is about to cross below zero, but has not yet. But we are consolidating at the baseline. So no trade zone for me on gold. Palladium. Pull back down to the daily baseline. I would be looking for a opportunity to go long on palladium. But again, be cautious. Again, my confidence on this is about 65%, but not 100%. Looking at silver, again, silver is bearish to me now, although I'm fundamentally long-term bullish on silver. It is in the short-term technically bearish, closing below the baseline, throwing up a short signal on Minx, confirmed with WADA Tar. 2 days of drawdown so far if you would have taken that short signal. But where are we rejecting from? The daily baseline. I would look at that opportunity to either add to your position or establish a position if you have not already. Platinum, again, talked about not taking this fake out trade to the upside. I talked about establishing a short position. We actually did get confirmation from WADA. We could have gotten a better entry at our baseline on a pullback to the baseline, and now you are starting to realize profits. Gold silver trade, I would stay out of this one for right now. Again, it's because gold is in a no trade zone and I'm bearish on silver. This would identify that I want to be long on this asset, but I think that it's just the wrong way to hedge up against your position. So Bentley crude, I continue to remain bullish on Bentley crude, but again, we are back in a no trade zone on crude oil right now for Bentley crude. And again, I talked about how Bentley crude had performed weaker than I talked about how Bentley crude had performed much weaker than West Texas oil on this last little pop to the upside. So this time around, I think that I'm going to be more interested in taking the long on Bentley crude, for example, right? That is a sector-by-sector analysis and particular strategy. But anyways, going to our main commods, looking at corn. Corn is actually throwing up a short signal, which is interesting. So corn, again, we talked about this. We talked about not taking the long off yesterday's close. Corn did throw up a long signal on Minx, unconfirmed by WADA. And again, now we're getting a short signal. So overall consolidation and low volume, but this is a good signal, especially I like it with CCI below zero and basically coming up, kissing the zero line and crossing back down below. Probably a good opportunity to get short on corn. Natural gas throwing up a long signal above the qualifying line, so we have not yet gotten an opportunity to enter into this asset. We need to get this nice pullback. We have not closed below the qualifying line yet. We'll see what the close of today looks like. Soybeans, again, biased to the downside. Opportunity to re-enter on a pullback to the baseline today. Sugar, again, short on sugar, but consolidating below the baseline. Don't get faked out with trades to the upside, but you've had multiple opportunities to re-enter at the baseline or at the at the actual close of a down candle. And wheat, looking at wheat, we talked about taking wheat short over here. And now in profit. So there is that. Okay, my Awanda FX trade account is logged in, so let's go to our FX. It's 12:56, so we're going to have to start running through this fairly quickly. Okay, Aussie Yen. Took an Aussie Yen position in drawdown on that. We're about to close below the baseline, so this might be a losing trade. Aussie dollar's thrown up a short trade today. So let's look at taking the Aussie dollar short. Canadian Swissy was long on this one. No trade right now. Canadian yen took the long here, already took some profits, holding on to my position. Actually, RVGI is crossing to the downside, so we might be exiting this position today in profit. Swissy yen, nothing to do right now, have not gotten a strong signal, so the Swissy yen is a no trade. The Euro Aussie is a no trade. All right, we're going to finish up Forex when we come back from the break, guys. So we're going to finish up. Our commods when we come back from the break. So before we go to break, as traders, selecting our exchange is going to be one of the most important decisions that we make. I am commonly asked what my metrics are to evaluate an exchange, what needs to be true for me to want to trade on an exchange, and the metrics that I use to evaluate an exchange are always the same. They are security, ease of use, and customer service. Customer service is extremely important to me. I have moved almost all of my Bitcoin trading, my Bitcoin futures trading, over to Bybit from BitMEX because Bybit as a platform checks all these boxes for me. If you guys would like to try out Bybit for yourself, you can go to bybit.krakencryptocurrency.com and they will give you up to $60 in margin for free to test their platform out. You can trade with it. You can withdraw your profit from it. It's yours to trade with. You can test their platform out. And you guys can make the decision for yourself whether Bybit is superior to BitMEX. My firm answer is yes. So again, that's bybit.krakencryptocurrency.com if you would like to take advantage of that offer. Guys, we've got a fantastic rest of the show for you guys today. When we come back, we're going to finish the Forex market analysis, and we're going to move into analyzing how the United Kingdom can benefit from adopting cryptocurrency, especially coming off of global uncertainty and economic uncertainty from the Brexit deal. And we're going to talk about how the IRS is going to be coming for your money if you are an American cryptocurrency trader or investor. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. And we are back from the break, guys. Thank you so much for holding in there. We're going to get right back into our Forex analysis and move on to the news. Okay. So we talked about the Euro Aussie. No trade on the Euro Aussie. Going to the Euro CAD. Again, getting a little bit, as I've talked about, getting more familiar with the Wannabe platform, exactly how the TradingView integration works. This is a trade. So for my first series of trades, I just set one static take profit target, testing the platform, testing the broker out, testing the system out. In normal situations, as you can see, where I went short on the Euro CAD here and took profit here, I would have let the half of my position or a portion of my position ride to the downside. And so would have taken advantage of this. So good trade, though. Good trade. Looking at the Euro Swissy, again, you guys can see my entry and a little bit of drawdown on the Euro Swissy. We're looking at just consolidation at the baseline. No reason to exit the trade yet. Euro Kiwi ended up taking, went short here, ended up taking all my profits and got the exit signal over here on the close of this candle where RVG crossed over. The trade had actually, we'd actually moved past the daily candle close, so it was right at the open of this candle where I fully exited the position with the last little bit. Jenny Lewis, thanks so much for joining over there on YouTube. Looking at the Euro Pound went long here, and on today's candle, this movement to the upside hit my take profit out of that position. Euro Yen is not a trade. The Euro Dollar, I'm short on the Euro Dollar. You can see my entry here. No reason to exit the trade. The Euro Dollar continues to list to the downside on low volume, which I like. Pound Kiwi is not a trade. The Pound Canadian, you can see here, this movement to the downside actually hit my take profit target. Whoa, I didn't want that. Let's back up. Pound Canadian went short here. Profit taken here. Pound Swissy, I don't see a trade here. Obviously, the rejection from the baseline was a good entry. Pound Yen went short and ended up taking profit on the very same candle. No trade yet to be taken, except for the reversal trade off of the baseline. Pound Dollar went short. It doesn't show my entry. Yes, here it is. Went short here, ended up taking profit here, here, and here when here, here, and here. RVGI must have been crossing up on that candle because there wasn't a valid reason to exit the position. As you can see, price continued to move to the downside. Kiwi Dollar did throw up a short yesterday that was unconfirmed, so we did not take this position. Kiwi Canadian Short on the Kiwi Canadian, very little bit of drawdown, as we can see. Opened the position yesterday, so nothing to do yet on the Kiwi CAD. Kiwi Swissy was long on the Kiwi Swissy, took some profit here, had the stop loss at break even, which just got hit today. So out of that position with profit. The Kiwi Yen. Kiwi Yen, long on the Kiwi Yen. Price consolidating near the baseline, no reason to exit yet. Dollar Canadian is not yet a trade. Let's see here. The Pound Aussie. Pound Aussie went short here, took profit here, added and exited position here at break even. So we can actually cancel that order. And the dollar Swissy, long on the dollar Swissy, took some profit here, stop losses at break even, letting that work itself out. Dollar yen, didn't take this one to the upside, would have been a good trade to take to the upside. Aussie Canadian, I'm short on the Aussie CAD. You guys can see my entry here. Has, let's see here, 69 and 45. Okay, did hit my first take profit, so we will now move our stop loss down to break even, and we will modify. Make that a no loss trade situation on the Aussie CAD. Aussie Swissy, nothing to do. And no position yet, no strong position yet on the dollar yuan. All right, so that's our Forex analysis. Again, my net asset value is up about 5% in 2 weeks since I began trading Forex on Wannabe. So doing well. Very happy with my results so far. Getting more comfortable with the platform, getting more comfortable with the trading, and my strats are working out quite well. Again, nice, consistent profit. Looking to shoot for an average of 5% per month return on that exchange. Obviously shooting for that over the course of the year. Stephen Hyatt said, took the dollar yen. Good trade, man. Good trade. Are you doing PTP over there on Forex, man? Good. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't take this trade. Yesterday was the last couple of days, actually. We're doing so, I mean, it's like beginning of month stuff, and we're doing so much on the administrative back end for cracking cryptocurrency. I mean, it's taking, up to 10, 12 hours a day. Again, I'm really actually excited that starting this week, I can get back into my testing strats and get back into publishing material as I like to do. So good trade, man. Okay. Okay, so starting off, we're going to start off with the tax man coming for you, man. The tax man cometh. Last week, Singapore proposed to exclude Bitcoin and crypto transactions from their value-added tax. Okay, so Singapore making an active movement to make cryptocurrency investing and trading more attractive to their citizens. But over here in America, it seems like we're going to have a whole lot more taxing going on. So the IRS, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but we have a little bit more guidance now. The IRS is going to be issuing new guidance on crypto taxation in the upcoming weeks. They're going to publish their official documents. And the forecast does not look good, guys. So anytime, we already know this, anytime you move Bitcoin from one wallet to another, that is a taxable event. Paying for goods and services, taxable. Mining Bitcoin, taxable. Moving your funds around to establish maybe a new cold wallet, taxable event. Every time Bitcoin moves from here to here, that is a taxable event. And with these strict rules, only about 53% of Americans have reported and paid their crypto taxes, estimated by the IRS. So the IRS is now proposing ways to identify and persecute crypto tax evaders. So, and these methods range from literally grilling family and friends, searching through social media posts and using block explorer data, using electronic surveillance, and issuing subpoenas to access bank accounts, including PayPal accounts. So over in Singapore again, over in Singapore again, to juxtapose America's position, the law to exclude crypto from the value-added tax, which over in Singapore is called the goods and services tax. So think of like an extra sales tax for those of you guys in the States. You guys know when you go to the store, you pay sales tax on top of everything else. So think if there was an extra tax on top of that. So Singapore is going to get away from doing that. Now that has already been done by other countries as well, and that will become law in January if that method is adopted by their parliament. The same approach, as I said, has already been taken by Australia, Germany, and Portugal, for example, excluding cryptocurrency transactions from the value-added tax. So over in Malaysia, for example, cryptocurrency doesn't even qualify for capital gains tax. You don't pay any capital gains tax over there in Malaysia. Unfortunately, as we've seen and talked about, the global trend seems to be increasing toward regulation, and increasing regulation at that. Now, the best example, in my opinion, of the country that does cryptocurrency taxation the best is Belarus, where crypto activities are fully legal and are fully exempt from all forms of taxation. So now some are going to scoff at this, what I'm going to propose for individuals to do. Some are going to scoff at this, but this is what you need to do. If you are an American that cares, if you are a Bitcoin holder or a cryptocurrency investor, you need to call your congressman. That is how this country is designed to work. You need to call your congressman and tell them you want to shut this down ASAP. I'm totally okay with everybody that's going to rile up right now and say, that doesn't work. We just need to burn the system down, baby. And I'm with you guys. I really am. As somebody who leans toward crypto anarchy, I absolutely, totally feel you. But you also can feel that way and do and promote that and still pick up the phone and send an email to your congressman, even if you don't think it works, all right? These methods have been shown to initiate change before, okay? Human beings can change the world. You can sway opinions, you can sway hearts and minds, and you can enact legislation by your actions alone. So go start a petition, go start a sign me. Let's get some protests going. Let's get this thing going, baby. So you need to call your congressman and tell them that you want this shut down ASAP. Okay, this isn't just something that we all need to take seriously from a personal finance standpoint. This is also something that we need to take seriously for a global adoption of cryptocurrency. Okay, this is a barrier toward global adoption. And that's exactly what I think that this is intended to be, all right? This serves as a movement from the United States to stall Bitcoin adoption as a payment system. It restricts Bitcoin to being only thought of as an investment vehicle. So, and I want to quote somebody here, and I don't actually know where this quote comes from. I found this from the news aggregator where I pulled this article from when I was researching this topic, and it's a great quote. So this is not from me. This is from somebody from their wording, very passionate and intelligent as well. So, quote, "They know that they cannot stop the technology, so instead they will put the full power of the federal government behind this effort. We can already see it both with the SEC and IRS, both of which I used to represent clients for in audit and dispute matters. Unfortunately, you'll have to trust me when I say that this is likely the single most important hurdle cryptos will face. Stripping tyranny from those seeking to guard wealth using the boot of the government is exactly what this technology was designed to do. So crack on while we have Wall Street interest with us. They are just fine with it also being a simple investment. While you're at it, invest in a VPN, get a separate phone and PC, and protect what's rightfully your property, and ultimately just zeros and ones in an electronically encrypted file. We don't pay taxes on every file in our computers. That's just nonsense. But no one can explain this or wants to. It is our responsibility to educate the dumbest smart people and tell them to piss off. This can only be stopped if we let it. The powers that be have a vast army of people like myself, most not as creative, but dangerously smart people. Very few of us get out and fight for individual rights or think like I do. While I'm not the smartest, the advantage we have is that they are late on this. The large customers and wealth aren't the early adopters. They aren't each one of you. We make enough noise and control the narrative, and they lose. If we make enough noise and control the public narrative, government loses. Remember that. We can change the world. The regulators are not elected. which, while technically illegal and unconstitutional, Congress is lazy, and these people are still the biggest threat. They may see where this is going, but your elected representatives are just the most charismatic of the bunch, not the most intelligent. They will hear the technical regulators trying to explain things in jargon and simply think that people are unhappy, and they will be more likely to disregard the gibberish. Do not give them the opportunity to think or even want to listen to the regulators. Just give them as much hell as you can. Demand the IRS and SEC be brought in front of Congress, major departments head fired, etc. Call for public lynchings, theirs or your elected officials, and they will hang regulators every time. We don't need regulation. Threats are why all U.S. exchanges are owned by billionaires and companies like Goldman. You and I can't be entrepreneurial. Think of the wealth we could be creating right now that we can't. Get in the fight. It's just data, simple as that. Before it hits them, we'll be too far down the rabbit hole and off to the races. Get on it, right? So remember, your elected officials are not part of the Illuminati overlord conspiracy. Everybody is out for their own self-interest. They just happen to be the most charismatic people that got elected. Regardless how you feel about democracy in the United States, we still have elected officials. Our democracy does control who gets elected. I don't believe in that whole, they shape the narrative so that the people they want get elected, all right? But our votes actually do matter. The calls that you make to Congress, if you stir up enough shit, if you light a fire under them, and we get our Congress people to think that that the American people do not like this regulation, they won't do it, because then they'll lose their jobs, because we'll vote them out of office. That's how it works. Okay, make them scared that we're going to come for them, and they will disregard the regulators. We've seen this happen. Get on it, guys. Get on it. Okay. Now, if you have a Logitech keyboard or mouse, and you are a cryptocurrency trader, I have a Logitech keyboard and mouse. Okay, this is the MX Master 2S. Okay, this is one of the nicest mice I've ever had. This thing is awesome. So, there is a new vulnerability that has been found in pretty much every single Logitech keyboard, mouse, and remote control that uses the Unify receiver. Okay, I could pull my Unify receiver out if I wanted to, but then I would not be able to use the mouse to click on anything. Show you. So Unify receiver is the USB dongle with a little orange star symbol. For anybody out there that has a Logitech, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, it's a little dongle that plugs into your computer. It's got an orange star on it. The vulnerabilities allow an attacker to eavesdrop on keystrokes from wireless keyboards. Everything in affected user types, from emails to passwords, is readily available to the adversary. But it gets worse. An attacker can send any command to the victim's computer if a vulnerable Logitech device is installed. And that makes it easy to infect the computer with malicious code without the rightful owner taking notice. So mostly the exploits have to have a person that has physical access to the keyboard, mouse, or dongle itself. However, this is still something that should be considered as a serious potential threat of getting your computer hacked and possibly your funds stolen. So us on this show are definitely recommending just taking the time. Take the time, if you have a Logitech Unify receiver, to download the DFU tool and run the firmware update. Okay, we're going to link to that in the description down below. So you can go to the article here. I'll actually go ahead and pop this in the. I'll actually pop this in the chat. Don't you? Save me, Justin Sun. You're my only hope. So you guys can go to that article and scroll down. Let's see here. It has a link for the secure DFU tool and also has a reference of the latest firmware so that you can check and see if your devices are already on the latest firmware, or you can confirm that once you've updated. Scott did put the links in the show notes. Okay, thanks, Scott. So definitely check them out for easy access. All you do is download the secure DFU tool, double click on it to run it, and it should detect any devices out of date and update them. You can check your firmware version within the Unify app on your computer, the Logitech options, okay? So thank you so much, Scott, for putting those links in the show notes. And again, if you guys have a Logitech device, take this seriously. This is the first thing that I did this morning as soon as Scott brought this to my attention. Okay. Now, getting into controversial waters. Bitcoin and Brexit. So we have talked about the UK's unfortunate decision to begin taking a harsher stance on cryptocurrency, when in my opinion, that is the last thing they should be doing. So we've already talked about the UK regulators talking about banning cryptocurrency derivative trading. So for all of you over in the UK who are trading cryptocurrency derivatives with not a care in the world, as I commonly talk to our students across the pond, that might be coming to an end. The EU already has ridiculous legislation and a stance on margin trading in general for retail traders. 2-to-1, 50x margin requirements. That does nothing but neuter you. Okay, that is ridiculous. 20x leverage is absolutely fine. Like the ability to keep less capital on deposit, the ability to diversify, the ability to hedge. That is what margin allows you to do. Leverage is a fantastic thing for an intelligent trader. It allows you to keep, the purpose of leverage, the purpose of margin is to be able to keep less capital on the exchange and yet still take on the correct position size for your capital balance. Okay. Meanwhile, that capital that you don't have to actually have on there to open up your position can be used to do other things. Invest, hedge, take other trades, take your girlfriend out for a nice steak dinner or your boyfriend, whatever. So with the potential economic damage of Brexit weighing, and again, we're not going to take any stance on this. You guys are free to your own opinion on whether Brexit is a good or bad thing. I do have my own opinion, but I'll keep those to personal conversations and not try to put them on the show. So with the potential economic, but what we can all agree on, I hope, is that the UK leaving the European Union is going to have economic consequences for the UK. Those could be good. Those could be bad. Again, there's lots of different arguments for this, but we do have some statistics on this. So with the potential economic damage of Brexit weighing heavily on the minds of investors across the world, especially UK investors, adopting a Bitcoin and cryptocurrency friendly stance like Switzerland and Japan could help boost the UK's economy and give it a greater position of economic strength in the future. Okay, they could be kind of one of the first, to jump on this. All right, a lot of countries have moved on this, and taken a pro cryptocurrency stance, and it's been fantastic for them. Look at Malta. All right, so I think the UK needs to get on board, especially being in the situation that they're in with a lot of uncertainty. So that is my opinion and the opinion of Nigel Green, who is the CEO of De Beer Group. All right. De Beer Group is a major independent wealth advisory firm. They have $12 billion American under advisement. So, according to Green, Britain's financial services sector has been damaged by Brexit, especially with the fact of a deal or no deal hanging up in the air. Companies have had to take precautions to safeguard their investments. Unfortunately, there has been a steady drain of investment confidence, talents, and activity away from the financial sector in the UK. And Green predicts that this is likely to intensify in the coming months, again, especially if the UK should leave with no deal. So as cryptocurrencies are unquestionably the future of money, the UK could use Brexit to its advantage by setting up its own crypto-friendly rules, in the same sense bypassing and improving upon the European Union's slow and burdensome bureaucracy when it comes to adopting cryptocurrency regulation and legislation. So even with a potentially crypto-friendly director of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, as we've talked about, the EU stance on crypto is still not very positive. And again, as we've discussed, we know that they will favor central bank-issued digital assets and not decentralized crypto. So the UK, obviously, has a history of being one of the most influential and powerful nations in the world. And they've gotten the world's attention by standing up to the European Union and deciding to go their own way. I feel that it would be in their best interest to use this new economy that we have created of cryptocurrency to their economic advantage. Let me know what you guys think in the chat, and also leave your comments down below. Just called my congressman, Mike Gatz. Awesome, man. Marlon, that's exactly what I'm talking about, man. I hope you're being serious, because that is what we need to see. I mean, how many people are watching right now? 1,000? If that's 1,000 people calling Congress, and then go tell your friends and family. If you get 2 people, if every person in here gets 2 people to call their Congress, that starts a movement. Get on it, guys. All right, 100 billion Bitcoin was bought in minutes, okay? So around 11 a.m. London time, just as New York was waking up, a limit sell order for 7,800 Bitcoins showed up on Binance, worth about $96 million. Unperturbed, bulls just chirped and chipped, munching it down to 5,000 Bitcoin in minutes after some 35 million worth of Bitcoin was bought. Relentless, the bulls. bought 1,000 more, down all that fiat and up into Bitcoin in 4 minutes. And thus the story goes of a cat on attack to aid the bulls and chase the bears out of town. Scott, these show notes are terrible. Show notes are terrible. I love you, man. So fierce was the attack and so numerous were the bulls, the wall did fall and the bears no more. Our bear well will always be the original OG who in 2015 united the community to end the bear domain and show once again, truly it was indeed darkness before a new beginning. So 30,000 Bitcoin are now worth $370 million, with a bear well thinking himself vindicated as price halved to a brief 150, a bottom that made to then roar and roar today. 9 million he gained for a priceless piece of crypto history when the Spartans did stand and then on to conquer even American lands. Who it is, we may never know. Okay, so that was, I guess, a poem. That was a poem, and I don't think I quoted it very well. So, yeah, hopefully you guys will remember the original bear well back in 2015, who set that massive limit order and, you know, historically has lost out on tens of millions of dollars. But 95% of alts are down over 90%. Do you see this downward trend continuing? Yes, I do. So anyways, I just wanted to point out that very interesting, $96 million, so about 7,800 Bitcoins order showing up on Binance, limit sell order, and it just got bought up. But think about that for a second. Somebody sold 7,800 Bitcoins. You've got big sellers selling. That should tell you something about the market structure. Okay, let's see here. Last little article here coming from Charlie Lee. So Litecoin creator Charlie Lee is warning wannabe crypto traders about Litecoin investing and trading, saying the halving is already priced in. So Charlie Lee coming hot with another crypto investor's stark warning to prepare ourselves for risk. In an interview on Crypto Love, Lee discusses the warnings he gave to investors in late 2017 when Litecoin's value was skyrocketing. Quote, "Crypto's really risky. I've seen many bear markets or crashes that are 90% down. So at the time when it was $200, I said it can drop to $20 and don't be surprised if it does. And what happens is when the price does crash, it shakes off all the weak hands. Everyone who bought in at 200 or higher will sell at 20. And if they're losing 90% of their portfolios, and they're losing 90% of their portfolios. So my point was that if you can't withstand a 90% drop, then don't buy in because it's too risky for you." Recalling Litecoin already dropped to around $123, Lee says he hopes that we haven't seen our Litecoin bottom already. Says Lee, quote, "The halving is always kind of a shock to the system. While the mining rewards get cut in half, some miners will not be profitable and they will shut off their machines. If a big percentage does that, then blocks will slow down for some time. For Litecoin, it's 3.5 days before the next change. So possibly like 7 days of slower blocks. And then after that, the difficulty will readjust and everything will be fine. In terms of the price, the halving should be priced in because everyone knows about it since the beginning. But the thing is, people kind of expect the price to go up. So a lot of people are buying in because they expect the price to go up, and that's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So because they're buying in, the price actually does go up. So just be careful out there when it comes to investing in cryptocurrency. Trading, absolutely fantastic. Remember that you need to have two things. You need to have your trading account, which is going to be your money generating, your revenue generating stream. And then you have your investment account, which is going to be your passive income source. You don't touch that money, right? We are investing in cryptocurrency for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 2 centuries, okay? Put the money that you invest in cryptocurrency should be considered 100% risk on, all right? And you should be willing to lose all of that money. We've had 90% drops in cryptocurrency very frequently. And if you're going to be establishing positions for the long term in these cryptocurrencies, again, we're at pretty low freaking prices, guys. But you cannot be swayed if price drops 30% if you are going to invest in crypto. Just like, for example, the statistics are very clear on this. If you try to buy the bottom of the S&P as a passive investor, you're going to fail every time. If you just dollar cost average into the S&P 500, to the NASDAQ, to the Dow, to the Russell 1000, you outperform stock pickers over time. So this is the difference. Not in realized profit right now. So trading allows you to quit your job and trade full time. Okay. I do it for 30 minutes to an hour a day. That is my full-time job. But my passive returns on investment over time will outperform that percentage-wise. Not in profit, not likely in profit, because they're not generating that profit now. Right? I'm able to take a turn on cryptocurrencies and Forex and make profit in the now. So difference between investing is a long-term game, and I think that most people are investing incorrectly in cryptocurrency. I think that there is a right way to do it, and I think that people are mostly trading wrong in cryptocurrency, and there is definitely a right way to do it. So tomorrow, we're going to go over some fantastic stuff. We're going to talk about Ripple hiring for serious expansion. We're going to talk about a physical Bitcoin that got sold on eBay for nearly $100,000. And we're going to talk more about Litecoin's halving event. And I've researched the Justin Sun Ponzi thing on top of the New York Attorney General's office update on Bitfinex and Tether. And we're going to break all that down. But for now, we're going to go to your user-submitted chart requests and engage with the chat and answer any questions that you might have. So before we do that, as a professional trader, it is absolutely essential that I have full control over all of my positions. Platforms like Binance, Coinbase Pro, and Bittrex, although they are amazing in their own right, by providing us access to exchanges by providing us access to coins and liquidity, lack essential features for any serious trader. Now, whether that's setting a trailing stop loss, whether that's setting multiple take profits or a take profit and a stop loss simultaneously, or automating our TradingView strategy to trade automatically for us, we just need better tools if we're going to take this trading thing seriously. The platform that I use to provide me with those tools is 3 Commas. 3 Commas are the industry leader for providing cryptocurrency traders access to the advanced tools in a very user-friendly platform. You guys can check out 3 Commas today using our link for free, and if you choose to buy, get 10% off of your purchase. If you want to take advantage of that deal, you can head over to 3commas.crackingcryptocurrency.com. That's 3commas.crackingcryptocurrency.com to use the same tools that we use to conquer the market every day. Now, we've got some requests on here, so this is the time, guys. If you guys want us to look at something, get those chart requests in there, and Scott will get them on the show notes for me to break down. So let's get back over into the charts. Let's take a look at what Bitcoin's doing here briefly. I can actually see that it's trading at 12,875 on the dollar. 12,622 over here on Bitstamp. Okay, I'm looking at the CME futures over here. So a couple $100 higher on the CME futures, moving up on low volume and volatility. Volume quite high on the 4-hour chart. So rising volume on the lower time frames. Rising volume on this daily candle, and that is from the selling pressure. Okay? Okay, let's move up here a little bit. Lord of Turtle says, the FBI is coming for the Tether. The IRS is coming for us. Sell! I wouldn't say that, man. Using the thinking from the California congressman who said we should stop Bitcoin because it's causing harm to the US dollar as the world currency, they are losing grip of using it as a weapon. You are correct, man. They are scared. Slow adoption through taxes. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That is right, Morse code. How can you tax simply moving crypto from wallet to wallet when there is no conversion of currency and therefore no realized gain or loss? That's the IRS, man. They consider that a taxable event. When you move cryptocurrency from wallet to wallet, they consider that a taxable event. The reason why is because you cannot, there's no public identities on the ledger, right? So when you send Bitcoin from one location to another, you can say that, well, I was just sending it to a wallet that I own, right? But to them, their argument is that, well, that could just as easily be a payment for goods and services. You're just trying to pay somebody under the table. You're trying to sidestep regulation, and you're trying to sidestep using the dollar as a payment source. That's their argument. Dr. Angie Stones, how are we doing over there? I think in Germany today. Did I see the comment on CNBC? Not that I watch it. Hate the channel. Social capitals. Patia, I'm going to say Patia, says Bitcoin is schmuck insurance you have under your mattress. Interesting. I just saw another comment from a venture capitalist this morning that said that Bitcoin is the best insurance. It's the best hedge against a falling stock market. So it just goes to show you that they don't know anything about talking heads. Know very, very little. I say this as some would consider me a talking head myself. How are they going to get my Bitcoin without the private key? So they're not going to take your Bitcoin. They're going to levy taxes at you, mate. Let's all move out of America. No, I quite like it here, man. Taxation is theft. I agree. But it's still, in my opinion, the best country to live in. Controversial? Spotabee 69, Litecoin BTC. We did go over Litecoin earlier, but we'll look at it again. Jai English says, hey, sorry if you already did, just wake up. Or sorry, says, hey, Justin, sorry if you already did, just woke up to ask this question. What volume indicator do I use and why? So I'm not ready to reveal my volume indicator yet. It's a little complicated. I actually utilize a couple indicators in my structure that are not available on TradingView right now, and then I'm working on coding into TradingView. So I use MetaTrader 4 and 5 for a few indicators that I want access to. Makes my life a little bit more complicated, but it's a structure. And also, that particular indicator, I think, is an edge in the market for me. So I'm not sure exactly at what point I'm going to reveal that on stream. I've already given you guys a whole lot insofar as Wannabe, that's free to use for everybody. We've talked about CCI, which is not actually part of my structure, but a good indicator that I'm using live on stream. RVGI is actually part of my system as well. And of course, Minx and all the guys in the group have access to that. So I use, there are some really, really good volume indicators out there. The search for a volume indicator, I'll tell you this, is probably the most difficult part of PTP. It's probably the most difficult part of PTP because there are a lot out there and most are difficult, most are bad, and some are really good. And also, it's all going to depend on what your system looks like, right? So I'll give you some good ones though. MACDs of volume are really good. Hawkeye indicator is really, really good. And we use Wannabe too because Wannabe is also measuring momentum, i.e. pseudo volume. So it works well as a volume indicator. The official documents submitted in court from Bitfinex include an email correspondence with the sentence, "This Tone Vase guy is a colossal douche." I'm not even kidding. Coinbase sent me something saying because I didn't exceed 20K in transactions, they weren't reporting my activities to the IRS. I did my taxes without reporting anything crypto. Yep. I'm not going to be that lucky, but that is true. Neo BTC and Dashcoin. Neo BTC for chemartan and Dash for Pummel. Weren't you the one that said privacy doesn't matter? You got the wrong one, bro. You got the wrong one. What happened to my music? How long the music been off? Andrew says, Bitcoin dominance on the weekly. When do you change the speed of your fast line and Minx BPM? Generally always comes from the results of my back testing. So I have tests that are running and that I analyze at the end of each month and that I analyze at the end of each quarter. And I go based off that parameter optimization. So I take those results and then I run it on blind data that the back test has never seen before. And if that verifies, then I change the results of my indicator. So generally, they're going to be end of month updates or beginning of month updates and parameter optimizations. There have been times where I do it every single week. BTC on the weekly. BTC dominance on the weekly. Okay. So let's get into this. We've got 20 minutes. Okay, Wayne Arndt starting us off with, can I look at overstock later in the stream? Of course, man. OSTK. Let's look at overstock on the NASDAQ. We were pretty bullish about this the last time we talked, right? Don't see any reason to not be bullish on overstock. Do I have to pay taxes for the money I earn on crypto? Yes. You need to pay, well, it depends on if you hold the Bitcoin for longer than a year, then you pay long-term capital gains tax. And that's going to depend on your tax bracket. For most of you, it's probably going to be anywhere from 10 to 22%. And if you are paying, and if you are a trader, so if you are, buying and selling Bitcoin, anything less than a year, any cryptocurrency that's held for less than a year between buying and selling, then you're going to get taxed at short-term capital gains tax, which is going to fall right into your standard tax bracket. So whatever you're paying for your income tax, whatever percentage you're paying on your income tax, that's what you're going to be paying on your short-term capital gains tax. But I recommend paying the money and go get a CPA. They do not cost that much money. You want to put the work in and have all your CSVs compiled and understand your numbers and figures yourself and do the best that you can. And then you just want to go thrust that at a CPA and be like, take my money. Again, remember the CPA is there to work for you. All right, so anyways, let's go over to overstock, man. We got our initial long signal over here. And let's see, RVGI gets us out of the trade, on the 3rd of July, right here, gets us out here. And we can get back in here. We got a continuation long signal yesterday. Continuation long signal on overstock yesterday. Good movement to the upside. Holding strong above the baseline. Big volume spike today. Let's see here. Big volume spike. It kind of depends on what happens here, man. If price continue, this is kind of one of those. Do you pay capital gains tax for altcoin? Yes. You're going to pay taxes. You are required to pay taxes for everything that you buy and sell, whether that is stocks, bonds, Forex currency pairs. Excuse me, not Forex currency pairs. Currency pairs are excluded from taxation, and cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency is currently considered property by the IRS in the United States. So this is one of those situations where when I see a lot of volume coming in on a very high candle, this is a take profit candle for me. I generally like to take profit on these candles when I see situations like this in the market. You've had a big volume spike, prices way up, and people are going to take advantage of that. He said, "Oh yeah, don't trade either. Just don't do anything. Just go get a job at Amazon and download Robinhood and put all your money on there." I'll just tell you this, guys. If you are a consistently profitable trader, you pay your taxes and you still make money. I pay my taxes every single year. I've paid my taxes every single year as a professional trader, and I am able to live. I mean, listen, even though me personally, I do a whole lot, right? So I do the show, I run the group, I do mentoring, I teach people how to trade, I produce a lot of content, I do a lot of studying, but as far as my trading activities, I'm able to earn a living, and I work. Again, for me, it's more closer to 2 hours a day because I do a whole lot. But again, I teach people how to do it for a half hour, an hour a day. It's the best job in the world, man. It's the best job in the world. I would not rather do a different job. If you know what you're doing, you have the right training and the right mentorship, it is a profitable lifestyle that you can do. And you're just going to have to pay taxes, man. So, I'm not here to feed people a get rich quick scheme. This is why what we don't do on this show is, yeah, man, I'm buying this alt and this alt and this alt and this alt, and they're going to 10x, 50x, and I'm going to retire on the beach. That is lunacy. The odds of that happening to you are less than 1%. I'm just being honest with you guys. It doesn't matter that cryptocurrency, that I'm extremely bullish on cryptocurrency. It's just not going to happen to you. You are better off going and buying a lottery ticket because that is what you want. If that is what you think is going to happen and that's why you're in the space, just go buy lottery tickets, man. Which, if you don't understand the math on lottery tickets, blur, blur, blur. It's a tax on people who are bad at math. So And again, most people who earn wealth very quickly, or excuse me, who get wealthy very quickly, have terrible lives. Wealth that is earned slowly over time is appreciated, invested, and pushed forward to the next generation. So it is just, it's just an opportunity to be in control of your own money. It is just an opportunity to live the lifestyle that you want to live. It's just a different job, man. It's just a different job. It's your own hustle. It's your own hustle. And the investments that I've built over time, you know, in traditional assets, in foreign currency pairs, in foreign currencies, in physical precious metals, in cryptocurrency, that is the basket that I will pass down to my children and teach them the same money management skills so that they will grow that investment, because that's my long-term goal, is to build legacy wealth, right? You know, I want my family to be financially well, right? I'd like my family to be successful and powerful and influential. And the way that you do that, the way that you build that for the future, is by putting in the work yourself. If you come from, like I do, a lower class family, again, I am 100% self-taught, self-built. I do not come from wealth. I have built all of my wealth myself. And although I have the luxury of, you know, again, having the job that I do and being able to do what I do, you know, I'm not going to be some rich, powerful tycoon, most likely by the time that I die. I'm doing well. I'm doing well, but I'm going to pass that on to my children in the hopes that they continue to grow that and build legacy wealth. But my roads. Ooh, the fractal forming right now is similar to the one in October 2017 on Bitcoin. If so, we could see 258% gains. Let's go, baby. Hashtag not trading advice. You don't need to say that, man. That word doesn't mean anything. People say that all the time. It doesn't protect them or not protect them. There are certain things you can and can't do. Most people are not doing those things. Why didn't our public schools teach us about money management, or was my school crap? No, they were all crap, man. That's why my kids don't go to public school. Schooling, here's the thing. Schooling should all be about ethics. And I'm sorry, I'll get to the chart. I know I'm running out of time on the charts. It's going to be... bro, there's no need for legacy wealth with global annihilation coming soon. I mean, what is the point of believing like that, man? I am bullish on humanity in the future. I'm not going to sit around and be like, the fucking sky is falling down. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to do drugs and... Nah, man. That's no way to live, man. I'm going to fight with my last breath and build up for the future, because that is what mature, responsible adults do. And it is mature, responsible adults who have always saved the world from catastrophe. So if global annihilation's coming, are you going to be able to do anything to stop it? And people have been saying that for literally since the dawn of time, and they haven't been right yet. All of our legacy will be death by climate change. So if you accept that, then you accept that we are absolutely powerless. So the problem I have with that argument, I'm going to sneeze. So I'm not gonna say that climate change isn't real. Climate change is absolutely real. But what is contentious is, okay, so what do we do about it, man? So is the argument going to be, well, human beings caused this problem, but we have absolutely no power to fix it? BS. We absolutely have the power to fix it. Okay, and let's say that global climate change happens, man. Like, there are technological things that we can do, right? So if you assume that building legacy wealth doesn't matter, then you assume that human beings are doomed. I don't buy that. I think that we'll figure out what we need to do, whether that is hopping up on a spaceship and exporting ourselves to Mars or the moon, whether that is digging down to the center of the earth and hiding out underground for a while. Well, there goes your power hour. Whether that is, digging down into the earth and, kind of living like the Morlocks from the Time Machine for a while. Bet. Still going to matter. Still going to need smart, intelligent, responsible, disciplined adults to guide humanity. So, as somebody who's bullish on humanity, I think that I will focus on what I need to focus on. Living free ain't easy, baby. Living free ain't easy. So my opinion on this, overstock.com, this is a take profit candle looking for continuation. If we continue to just push right along with this, then that's a potential reentry. Price is already down about 5%. So really ideally, this is a situation where you kind of want to see a pullback. And buy at a lower price. But that continuation long from yesterday is valid, man. Just be careful, because when you're stepping into a position like this with a really inflated price, you run a high danger of price just dumping on you. So you don't ever want to buy the tops of markets, man. You don't ever want to buy the tops of markets. You want to let price come down, give you a pullback, and then get into a strong established trend. Crypto Caveman, sup, bro? You guys can head over to premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. All the information is there for how we do things. Mr. Greg and Crypto Caveman. But you've been around for a while. You shouldn't have to ask that question. Rep USD from Jake RESIO. Not on the daily. The daily would be giving you an entry signal now. 12-hour got you in the trade. Long signal right there. And the 4-hour got you in the trade here for a loser. And then you can get back in here. So yes, PTP absolutely caught this. Any nice, good, sustained movements that have a run up, PTP is going to catch that. Price running up 30%. Let's see what your... I don't think it really matters what time frame you would have looked at this at. 12-hour, 1, 2, 3, all take profits. Let's say you have that trailing stop on 3 commas. Let's say it's set at like 5%. So you would have ended up being fully out of the position right around here at 1762. Good trade on rep. Getting some local consolidation here on Bitcoin. Currently a failure to achieve and push past this high. Crypto Caveman trading rocks, baby. LTC BTC from Jake RESIO. As I said, bearish on LTC BTC. Let's go to the daily. We did get a continuation short signal on yesterday's candle, taking price to the downside, 6% profit. Let's see, you're going to the 12 on something like LTC BTC. Again, still riding the continuation short from over here. You'd be up about 11%. And going down to the 4-hour time frame. Let's get rid of Quadrigo ATR. Short position here. And RVGI would have got you out right here. About 8% on the 4-hour chart. How high do I think Bitcoin can go on this bull run? I'm just going to go out there and say 40,000. All right, I get that question a lot. I don't even think about the numbers. I don't think about how high or low something can go. But let's just say 40,000. I think that's good. I think if we push past our previous all-time high, we're going to go a lot higher. 40,000 seems about right to me. Law of diminishing returns, though. Shallower elliptic curve. Neo BTC from M. Chemartan. Sup, my man? Neo BTC does not look good, man. Pablo D, Justin, and Lucas gave me the courage to buy under 4,000. Hodling. Awesome, man. Looking at Neo BTC, we talked about these order block levels. But from a PTP perspective, short signal, let's actually look at where the short signal was generated. Here, loss, and then you could have re-entered on this candle. If you wanted, again, I think you can short Neo BTC on Finex. Price pushing to the downside here on Neo. I will say this, we are coming up to a support level. This is not how we trade. We are coming up to a support level. Let's go on the 4 hours, see if we can find a order block. We got one here. Yeah, we got one here, and then we also have these lows. So, you know, if you're wanting to buy a reversal, you've got a few zones right here, man. You've got this, 137, 362 down to about 135, 372. That's going to be buying in the order block. That's going to be your best bet. But just be prepared for a stop hunt down to take out this liquidity below 133, 177. So if you're going to average into this, I'd be averaging it in this area right here, and then also have a position down here. But again, not the way that I trade, because if this level fails, then you're coming down somewhere over here. I like to wait until price is bullish, and I don't think that alt Bitcoin pairings are very bullish. Well, I don't see why buying into this is attractive to anybody. You know, you want to buy into this, or this, or this. Long signal here, long signal here, long signal here, and here. Ooh, it's 157, man. I gotta go, guys. I'm sorry. Last one, we'll look at Dash. We will look at Dash on the daily. Dash on the daily looks like all the other Bitcoin pairs, man. Doesn't look good. Closing below the baseline. Minx below zero. Wadatar printing a bearish expansion bar. RBGI crossing under. CCI below zero. Nothing but fake and chop, man. Let's look and see if we got anything that looks attractive as a reversal zone. I don't even think so, man. Bloop. Come on, baby. Negative. I mean, we are in uncharted territory for Dash, man. You know, Dash is always one of those coins where it's a privacy coin, but the reality is, you know, it was, you know, it's a miner's coin, man. It's a miner's coin. It was a miner's coin, man. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another fantastic episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope that you are trading safely. I hope that you are following the lessons. For those of you guys in the group, I hope that you are following the rules and using the tools to achieve the success that you want. If you guys would like to join us in the premium trading group, if you guys would like to get access to the Pathways to Profit course and learn how to build your own strategy from the ground up, something you don't have to listen to my opinions or my subjective thoughts, we will teach you how to build your own system that works. If you guys would like access to our indicators, to our strategies, to our educational material, and to our analysts and signals and setups, you guys can go over to premium.krakencryptocurrency.com to sign up today. If you guys want to support the show, make sure to like, follow, share, subscribe, and engage in the comment section down below. And engaging in the comment section gives you the opportunity to win some crypto, because we do give crypto away every single day for a random YouTube commenter. And head over to breakingbitcoin.money if you want to put the podcast. If you're unable to catch the live show, you can catch us on your mobile device. You can catch us on your smart assistant. You can just simply say, hey, G, let's listen to the latest episode of Breaking Bitcoin. You can find all our current and past show notes, all the information we go over, all the links that are covered on that page as well. That's breakingbitcoin.money. All right, guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and or death threats, make sure to leave them in the comments section down below, and I'll try to get back to you within 48 hours. Make sure that you guys trade safely. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.